Hi. I thought I'd give you a lecture and a little bit of help on the homework. We're in PowerPoint the last 3 weeks, so let's look at some of the basic constructs of PowerPoint. So what I'm going to do is going to go have on the left-hand side, I've got the PowerPoint presentation, and I'll use the data file for your first weeks of PowerPoint data file. So what we're going to do in this case is some of the objectives for this chapter is select and change a document or a PowerPoint theme and how it wants to be colored or variant, how I want to vary the color within that theme. Now, we'll also look at creating title slides, text slides with multi-level bulleted. All it means is indented bullet slides. Adding new slides, changing different slide layouts, inserting photos and illustrations to slides. So how to move and resize pictures, changing colors. But normal stuff that you use now is, text, italicize. How do I duplicate a slide? How do I arrange the slide in a presentation? Select transitions, and how to then view a slide presentation. Now, this test data we got is only got 2 slides, but we'll see what happens, what we can play with. So, let's just bypass. So it says insert 4 presentation slides using various layouts. I may not do all of them. I don't want to give everything away, but I want to give you enough to show you where everything's located, so how you go through it. Text on the slides, graphics, so go through all this. So the first thing is choosing the document theme and variant. Now, what you're trying to do now is just think back to Access. I know you hate Access, but you had to do what? I'm designing the look. I'm changing the way the system looks. You look at this slide on the left or the right, it is pretty boring. White background. So I'm trying to design a new look. So I go to the Design tab. And when you do that, you get a couple of different options. You get some themes, so it has some basic pre-designed themes, and you notice they give you default colors down below. So let's just say we want to change this theme to, as you can tell, as I change other looks and feels, you can tell I get how the bottom changes here, how the background changes as I move the cursor over. So let's see if we can find one that actually looks let's try that one for right now. And then you get variants. Now I can change, now that I've chosen that theme. So now I have a theme that I've chosen, and you can see it comes with certain color schemes. Now I can change the variant. I can change how do I want it. So it just basically allows me to change a little bit of how that place, how it looks. So just keep in mind, your design, you got themes and some changes, variation on the look of that current theme. So, and then you could, if you're going to do a lot of these, if you right click, you could access it, change it where it's located. Customization, it just allows me to say, how do I want to change the size of the slide, its background format. But that's really what I want to do as far as showing you how to change the theme. So we go to the design, you got themes, and you got variants. Now, if I was creating the title slide, so in this case, I've already got one started, and if you click on it, all of a sudden the title slide shows up, and now I've got, now as you can tell, there's a couple of things to notice. One, you see this arrow here, that means I can rotate it. When you see the cursor here, I can move that title. So I can take it, I can move it, rearrange it. And if you notice, when I did that move, you see the red lines on the side, making sure that everything else is in alignment. So those PowerPoint gives you a chance to make sure things are in alignment. So if I'm going to click on the title slide, so now I can click on this, and now I can do, if you want to change the text, you can highlight it just like we did before. You can change its font. You can change its size, bold, italicize. Go through. Now, on your title slide, it also has two things. So let me just show you first. I want to create, let's go back to the home, and I'm going to create a new slide. But I just push down the arrow, and if you look at the title slide, you got several different options here as far as slide types. But on the title slide, you see two little boxes here. So you got a title and a subtitle. And in this example here, I've got a title, fishing, and I got a subtitle with email flow, and, so you got two different boxes. You can change, edit, rotate them, move them anywhere you want. So that's kind of where you get entering title slides and subtitle slides. Subtitle slide, click the subtitle, blah, 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 enter text. And the zoom, you don't need to, you can change the zoom feature anywhere you want. Now, if I want to change the formatting of the content, so you see it says triple click paragraph. If you triple click, if I click the mouse once, it puts it to wherever the cursor is. If you double click, it gives you one word. If you triple click, 1, 2, 3, gives you the whole line. So it allows you then to make sure you got highlighted. Now you could take the cursor just like you did highlighting things in Word. You could move the cursor, put it where you want, and then move the cursor to highlight that. Either way, and then you can make formatting changes. The size, I can change it to anything I want. And of course, as with anything else in PowerPoint, going back, forward still allows you those options. So let's look at, that's, if we wanted to change it, we can change the size, we can italicize it, italicize the name, change the size, bold it, underline it. So we can do all the same things you used to do in Word with that pull down option. Same thing. Increase the font size we showed you. Double click. Now, like I said, you click it once, put there. You double click, gets the word, and then you can change it. So let's not underline that and not italicize it. So, but you can change the words up. Now, you can change the color. And in this case, you're looking at, I'm changing the font color. The same thing you used to do in Word, we can change it to change the font, change the color, change the size. If I wanted to add a new slide, you can hit the new slide button. If you just hit the button, you get just a basic new slide, which gives you a title box and then a context box, adding text and things of that nature. In here allows you to say other things that you can, other icons to say, what am I inserting? Am I sharing a spreadsheet, a chart? So now I can import things from other Microsoft applications. Smart graphics, something from the insert, videos, internet, pictures. So those are just quick icons, because you get those same things if you would go up here to insert, and then you can insert a table, shapes, smart art, clip art, put in links, and I think later we'll do other aspects of it. So just know that you get just some basic internet. Now, you don't need to use those, and they just kind of disappear when you start adding information in. Now, when I want to start adding text to this, as you can tell, once I click the icon or click my mouse, position the character, it now allows me to start entering text. And of course I can't type. Enter new text. You hit return, and it gives you another bullet item. So it's automatically trying to give you bullet lists, like when you were entering bullet list in a Word document. Same thing is applying here. If you hit the tab key, it'll indent it. If you're back to the home page, if you hit the indent button, increase lift, it'll increase the indentation or decrease it. So give you a rough idea on how to do that. Let me go see what else you're trying to do. Click and add the title, kind of show you, because this is the title bar, and then it gives you a little bit bigger font because it's a title versus the title. But like I said, you can rotate it, you can shrink. Now, I can move it. When you see the 4 arrows, that icon, I can move that title. If I want to reduce the size, go to one of the corners or any one of these dots, and now I see a 2 arrow, and now I can change the size. I can reduce it. I can bring it in and make it smaller. All of that comes to it. And like I said, you can rotate it. Oops, let me get back there. So let me just go back and get that back to where I want it. All right, give you a rough idea. Let's see. A text holder. Click the label, click add text. Let me get back into my edit mode. Now to get into edit mode, you got to see how this small dashed lines, when you see the, now I can enter, and now I can click, add text, go through. Now, to full item, just start entering text. So I can increase, decrease the tab. So just like that. We can select word groups. I mean, if I just wanted to highlight, drag and highlight. So, and then you can do whatever modification. You can bold, increase. Now, if I want to add a new slide and changing slide layouts, okay, so let's go to a new slide. And let's see, what's this asking me to do? New slide. Gives me a nice layout of all the different sides. So I want, let's see, 2 contents. Title, and then I get 2 smaller slides. So that would allow you to maybe compare and contrast. Maybe you've got multiple smaller presentations you're going to give, so you don't want to waste a lot of paper. Just different choice. Now you can add titles again, new slideshow, click comparisons. You can do all of these things, just adding different things. You can change as you're adding new slides. You can change, go back to the design and change the theme of just this one slide in the very end. Let's see, let's go back here. So now change the theme across the line. So gives you different options, different variants. Now, if the question is, now that I've created this, now what do I need to do? Oh, let me show you one more thing that may help you. Is, like I said, now when you see this, I can change the shape, the size, highlight where it's located, and keep an eye on those red lines to make sure they're in alignment. Let's move it a little bit further, so maybe let's change the shape so I can get it down to the point where I can actually see. So moving, positioning. If I was going to insert a new picture, what would you do? Insert, picture, and then it will allow you to pick a new picture to insert. And then it comes back and allows you now to change the size, its location, reduce it, move it over. So all of that comes through. Now the question is, so I've inserted some pictures. Let's slide through this. Now, there are some things here with sizing. Here you notice here I highlighted this, and when you look at that format here, what do I see? I see some numbers here to talk about the size, the shape of that. I just click the down arrow. Now you get different aspects. So now as I change numbers here, and because it says here lock aspect ratio, it's going to keep the same percentage. So if I change this to 3, it's automatically going to change the width. So it's keeping those so the picture doesn't get distorted. You can change, scale the height, scale the width. You can change the resolution. So there's a lot of other things here. If you're inserting presentations and you want to keep, so just keep that in mind. Let's see, move the picture, rotate the pictures, duplicate the slide. Let's look at duplication. Now let's go back to home. Close that out. Let's go back to home. And now you say, I want to duplicate the size. Now, which it says here, go to the display. You can click and tap this. But see, now you got, see here, I'm going to duplicate selected slides. Now what do I have? So I need to duplicate size. Oops, I got to select size. Let me get one. And as you can tell, it gave me 3 copies. So if you wanted to duplicate, so go to new slide, duplicate size, and as you saw here, it duplicated the slide there. If I wanted to arrange the size, there's a couple of different ways of doing that. One is I can take this picture, I can drag it right up the size and move the location of that slide. I can change the view, and there's a one called slide sorter. So if I go slide sorter, and now it puts them on a bigger scale versus a little thumbnail, and you can do the same thing. I can rearrange them any way I want. And go through. So now the next question is, okay, I've got them all laid out the way I wanted to. I'm not worried about the text holder here. Now I want to say, how do I want to have this presentation work? So what you can do with PowerPoint is, as I'm playing a presentation, I'm going to take this, I'm going to delete, so this slide. So I'm going to click on it, highlight it, hit delete, and as you can tell, I got rid of the delete. So now what I want to do is I want to make sure, when I'm making a presentation, how do I transition from one slide to the next? So, of course, that's in the transition phase. Now, you've got several different options here. So if you got different options, let's see here, glitter honeycomb. Let's find something that makes, let's do curtains. We'll do curtains. Now, the question then becomes, I got a type of transition, and you could do a preview of how that transition works, and it shows you, hit that preview, and it shows you what that transition looks like. Now, if you had sound, the question now is how long do I want this to play? That's the duration. And when do I want it to advance? Do I want it to advance when I click the mouse? And if it's that box is checked, it'll click it on the mouse, or you can do it on a time basis. So I can get rid of that, and then I can say how many seconds do I want this to transition. So it says, okay, I want to time it, and I want to do this. So I want to make sure to apply this to all the presentation. So I'll hit apply to all. And as you can tell, when I did that, you see how the timing changed. So it's going to allow me a transition. So this little indicator here says I got a transition, and this tells me about how long I'm going to make that transition. So now the question is, I've got to see what my presentation now looks like. So if I'm going to, now I'm going to view my presentation. So now you can go to the view section, and you got different options here. Let me go through slide sort view. We changed that, manually changed the presentation. We can save in present to change that presentation. But I don't want to, I want to see how this presentation is actually going to play. So let's see, where can I see that? Move this up a little bit. There should be another option there I can see. Oops, wrong button here. I want to go back to the home. I want to go to the slideshow, and then I want to play it from the beginning. So view allowed me to see how we're going to display it. Slideshow says I want to see what it looks like. So if I click play from the beginning, it'll start there and see your transition. Then we put it up that it'll wait a few seconds and go on to the next slide. Now to get out of this mode, you just hit the escape button and you're back in the editing mode. So hopefully this little video helps you get familiar with some of the aspects of PowerPoint and help you with today's this week's lesson. Talk to you later.